Live in a Salute. I'm your host, Chris Budihas. Today's segment is sponsored by the Military Affairs and Veterans Department of the City of Jacksonville. Thanks to Harris Conyers and the team over there taking care of our veterans, make sure they get the benefits that they earn. Joining me virtually from Jacksonville, Florida is Dana Gordon. And then we've got from Nashville, Tennessee, Ken Smith. Gentlemen, it's good to see you. So Dr. Gordon, tell us about yourself. Where are you originally from and what you do in the military?
Yeah, Chris, I appreciate you guys having me on. So initials are DR, although doctor was my call sign, so it actually works out well. I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, went to Georgia Tech, went to flight school with the Navy, flew helicopters for 20 years, and then had command of the USS Iwo Jima with the Navy as an aircraft carrier, Marine aircraft carrier. Retired here in Jacksonville and have been living here for the last 5 or 6 years.
God bless you, man. Hey, thanks. When I was in the Marine Corps, I was in the Iwo Jima for 90 days back in the circa mid-90s. So it was old then. I'm sure, unless it was a new aircraft, a new ship. It was.
No, this is a new one. No, it's a new one.
Okay, excellent. Hey, Ken, so we know each other, but for the greater audience, tell us a little bit where you're from and what you do in the Army.
Yeah, originally from Tempe, Arizona. I was an infantry officer in the Army. And now I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, doing leadership development and loving it.
That's awesome, man. You guys are kind of in this space together, so I look forward to jumping right in. So, Gordon Consulting, what are you doing, Doc, and how do you do it?
So, DR Gordon Consulting, kind of based off of me actually writing 2 books. I've written 2 books, Training, Education, and Mentorship, and Leading, Empowering, and Developing, based on my experiences in the military and afterwards with Fanatics. Using both of those books, I decided there's a lot of things that can be done working with individuals. Adaptability, flexibility, communication, critical thinking, all those things that we do in the military that we kind of take for granted, but things that I saw when I was with Fanatics for 5 years that I felt like, mid-level managers probably could get better at. So that's what I decided to do. I took those books, took those words, and kind of used that as a guide to work with the companies, the clients, and the folks that I work with.
Yeah, thank you, Dana. So Ken, Belair Leadership, tell us about it.
Yeah, so Belair, the namesake, is the first car I ever owned in my life. It was a 1957 Chevy Belair. I still own it to this day. It's in my garage, right behind me. And the thought that I had on Belair Leadership is that leadership matters, and we spend so much of our time at work. And our bosses and our leaders have such a profound impact on our quality of life. Yeah. And I figure the best way that I can make the world a better place is if I help leaders become better leaders, then everybody around them is going to have an opportunity to just have a much better, more fulfilling, and higher quality of life. So that was what I set out to do, was to improve the lives of 1 million people by helping 10,000 leaders become better leaders. And I like to say that I help people become the kind of boss that people want to work for.
Yeah. No, that's excellent, right? I mean, let's be honest. You spend I won't say half your life, but close to half your life at work. So that experience matters. And as you guys know, because you're in a space, it's easier to retain talent than it is to go recruit talent. So that's huge. So Dana, with you, who's that who's that person or company that should be reaching out to you, and what kind of services are you going to provide them that gives them that return on investment?
So I look across the board. I work with individuals, I work with teams, I work with small groups, large groups, but the company who has mid-level managers, supervisors, managers, directors, senior directors, who are looking to try to help improve how they go about their business on a daily basis, what they're trying to do. Again, the critical thinking. If you start to see that you aren't getting that out of your team, I'm your guy to kind of come in and talk, whether it's individually or as a team, as I mentioned, to talk to them about how we go about the thought process. I was an industrial engineer at Fanatics, and it's process improvement, and that's what we did every day. Yeah.
How about you, Ken, at Belair? Like, who's that company out there, or person that should be reaching out to you, and what does that ROI, look like for them, either in a tangible or intangible way?
Yeah. I'm looking for companies usually 150 people or larger, because what I like doing is working with the organization and the leaders together, not individually. I'll do individuals, but the organization itself is going to grow much better if they understand these new behaviors and they understand how we want to operate as an organization, how we want to lead. And if they all hold each other accountable and they remind each other and they're building it together, the growth and the sticking aspect of it is a lot better.
Yeah.
Generally, I work with companies that manufacture something, build something, just because I'm a mechanical engineer by education, and a lot of time in the oil and gas industry. So I call them hard hat businesses, but they don't have to be hard hat businesses, but I just love working with those. And what I'm looking at doing is I help people change their behavior, and I'm going to call it the easy button for changing your behavior, because that's what we see, and that's the easiest thing to change. That's where we have to start. We have to start with how we as leaders are behaving, and then we can grow from there.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. It's funny. I got a friend here who's been in the both in the battery manufacturing space and then in the silicon chip space. And you talk about manufacturing 100 years ago was somebody with a wrench, with oil can, keeping the machines working. Now it's somebody on a keyboard telling the robots and the machines to do the work. So the complexity of manufacturing is a lot different. But you're right. Some of these leadership things that we did in the military translate. That does provide ROI and then provides a better workforce as a result. And it's great that you're coming in and taking a look for those folks. So Dana, 2 books. How hard was it to write those?
Yeah, I'm an electrical engineer by trade in terms of what I got my degree in, and a pilot. And I jokingly say that no pilot or engineer really likes to write or read books. But somehow, as I worked my way through my career, had a guy who said, "Hey, sir, you have all of these lessons learned and things that you're sharing with people. You need to put it on paper." Yeah. And he convinced me to do that. I did that before I left, and then managed to do that during COVID. I had a little free time, and I managed to do that. But it was it actually became a hobby, and so I ended up doing it. I enjoy it, and I just finished the second book here about 3-4 months ago. I did the first one about 3 years ago.
That's excellent. Can you tell the audience the name of your books so they can look them up?
Sure. Team is the first one, training, education, and mentorship. And then the second one that I just finished is leading, empowering, and developing. So again, it touches on the things that I talked about that I do with my company, and kind of use those two together to work with, again, individuals and companies in those really 6 different things.
That's awesome. Relevant acronyms. And then Ken, last question for you. We watch a lot of our peers, same thing, Dana. You see all your peers, not all your peers, you see a lot of people on LinkedIn trying to start their own company, but you guys actually did it in the leadership space. What is your, Ken, what's the 1 or 2 things you'd give advice for somebody in uniform getting ready to, potentially become an entrepreneur in this space, or somebody that's looking to make that career pivot into this area?
Yeah, I think that you have to be prepared for the grind, because you just don't open up the door, turn on the lights, and everybody just magically shows up at your door. It doesn't work that way. And I think the other thing is you have to have something that's a little bit unique to yourself. And, the books are fantastic. I wrote a chapter in a book as well. And what I looked at is 3 pillars or 3 questions that everybody asks about their leadership. Number 1, do they care about me? Number 2, are they competent? And number 3, do I trust them? And so I built mine based upon those kind of 3 ideas and 3 pillars, and figuring out, well, if you don't care about people, if people don't trust you, they have no opportunity to lead them. And the competence is your skill as a leader, not as whatever technical realm that your business is in, but your competence as a leader. You're going to grow those skills, how to give good feedback, how to hold people accountable. Those will grow over time, but you got to care about people, and you got to be able to be trustworthy.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So you got to have something that's unique to you.
No, I appreciate that, Ken. And it's funny. I've told somebody recently, you can throw money at people, and that will go only so far. But if they don't enjoy what they're doing, how they're doing it, and they don't see opportunity to become better versions of themselves, either in that position or for potential upward mobility, then they're going to walk away. And with you guys coming in there, giving them that backwards looking mirror to say, hey, this is what your organization looks like, this is what you look like, how would you like to become a better version of yourself or your organization is gigantic for companies like yours. So, hey, gentlemen, what we're going to do is take all your contact information, your company contact information, put it on our show notes, and push out the internet. I appreciate you taking time here today to tell your story.
Thanks, Chris. It's fantastic to see you again.
Good to see you, Ken. I'll be in contact. Hey, thanks, Dana. Appreciate it. And look forward to staying in contact, folks. Hey, if you like what you heard, please share us. Contact Ken and Dana. They love to talk to you about their company, how they can give you some return on investment, make their organizations and yourself a better version of yourself. We'll see you in our next segment. Live with gratitude.
When they leave us for battle, we await their return. When their embrace is gone, we imagine them with us. Some don't come back. We grieve. Some come back hurting. We help. Heroes survive. We honor them. Heroes fall. We remember them. 150,000 veterans live in Jacksonville. We serve them. We're the Military Affairs and Veterans Department, City of Jacksonville. Because of them, our light never dims.